Well, 8 games into the tournament and only one team have been eliminated up to this point, but whilst the early scalp of North Macedonia didn't perhaps need foresight at mystic leg proportions, the potential for Poland to be second out was much harder to predict. Defeat away to Spain tonight will bring that to fruition and lead to their third group stage elimination in the last 4 tournaments. One substandard performance is all it's taken. 2-1 defeat to Slovakia hinged around the dismissal of Gregor Krychowiak. That result, in combination with the other 2 in the group so far, have ramped up the pressure. Not that they have the monopoly on those high stakes. Spain's 0-0 draw against Sweden causing consternation and frustration in equal measure. The victory tonight will take them back on top of the group, ahead of their finale with Slovakia on Wednesday. Anything less, the Poles will have a lifeline, and Spain will go into the last match outside the top 2 in the group. Spain line up tonight with Unai Simon in goal, Marcus Llorente, Laporte, Pau Torres and Jordi Alba the back 4, Koke, Rodri and Pedri the 3 in midfield, no Sergio Busquets, and Gerard Moreno recall but playing on the right of the forward 3 we would expect, with Morata through the middle and Dani Olmo on the left hand side. As far as Poland are concerned, Wojciech Szczęsny in goal, Berezinski, Glick and Bednarek the back 3, Józwiak, Klich, Moder and Puchacz, and then Świderski and Zielinski in support of Robert Lewandowski up front. So much ammunition with Lewandowski for Poland and the entire Spanish side, and yet just the 1 goal between the 2 teams in their opener, and the pressure on both of them to be able to deliver tonight. The camera pans to Pedri, just 18 years of age. What a season he's had. His first with Barcelona brought more than 50 appearances, and plenty of pressure on him tonight right at the beginning of his international career, as Spain need to deliver. A much cooler, more temperate night tonight in southern Spain than it was for the game against Sweden. Temperatures only in the mid-20s, conditions that will be much more favourable to Poland than they were to Sweden, but Poland will just be hoping to be able to replicate that Swedish defensive resolution. We are underway. Poland white shirts and red shorts, kicking from right to left, and Spain in their customary red shirts with the yellow trim and the dark blue shorts, defending the end away to the left-hand side. Just to remind you of the mathematical ramifications of this game on Talksport this evening. Spanish victory, and they'll be top of the group. Poland will be out. Polish victory keeps their hopes alive, and Spain will be bottom of the group with 2 games to go, but they wouldn't mathematically be out. And if this one ends all square, then these 2 will be 3rd and 4th in the group going into the final games. Poland trying to get the ball forward for the runner Świderski. Pau Torres is across, flicks it out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Polish right-hand side. And alongside me tonight, the former England World Cup defender, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, evening, Jim. This game's finely balanced. Obviously, the pressures of group stage football is being borne out here on the grounds that the first results for either team not as they would have liked. So it'll be interesting. It's the Polish at the moment that have settled in and got players in advanced areas.
Poland certainly prepared to try and take the game to their Spanish opposition. It's an early throw down towards the corner flag for Zielinski, but he couldn't quite bring it under control. It will still be brought away by the Spanish towards the edge of the box. One of the Polish players goes down. Referee says no foul, and they'll be cleared out towards Gerard Moreno, and Spain might be able to get the bodies forward very quickly on the counter-attack. Marcus Llorente, loving to push forward from right back, will just bring it to within 20 yards of the edge of the penalty area. Lays it back behind square for Rodri, and then Koke to his left-hand side. Pedri just making his way into space in the midfield, but it's worked the other way to the captain Jordi Alba. Has the armband in the continued absence of Sergio Busquets tonight. Now Aymeric Laporte, who's only recently become a Spanish international, having declared for Spain just in the last few weeks. Pledged his allegiance to them rather than his birth country of France. He works it out towards the left-hand side again for Jordi Alba. First opportunity for Dani Olmo to get the ball at his feet and try and run at Józwiak. Back for Pedri. Pedri to Jordi Alba. Spain had 85% of the ball the other night. Don't expect they'll have as much as that tonight, but probably still be in the high 60s, low 70s. They'll just be expected to be a lot more potent with it, with the slightly remodeled team that they have tonight. Ball out of play for another throw. This time it being one that Poland will take in their right back position. And with 3 minutes into the game on Talksport, it is Spain 0, Poland 0.
Yeah, the Polish team look as though they're quite happy to get forward when they possibly can, but when they bank up and get players behind the ball, you've got that barrier of 5 across the back line, and there's very little space for the Spanish to play through.
Poland have not been in good form since Paulo Sousa took over. Just the one win so far in their 6 games since he came to the helm back in January. A man who ended his playing career in Spain with Espanyol. Gerard Moreno is working the ball back through the midfield for Coque. Coque, a little 1-2 with Rodri to his left-hand side, but it's played back. It's gone out of play for a throw. Jakub Moder, the Brighton midfielder, who's the only player who has scored against England so far in 2021, just with a touch that pulled it out of play. He thought it was his throw, but it has been given against him. Here's Marcus Llorente again, trying to take it away from Świderski. Just worked back through the midfield by Mateusz Klich. Plenty of players in this Polish side with experience of playing in British football. It's Berezinski working it forward from the right of the 3 centre halves, and then they're coming together in the midfield. Has given a free kick. Poland's way, just inside the centre circle. Stuart Pearce alongside me, Jim Pratt. We're watching on from our monitors in London tonight. The game being played in Seville, and it's 0-0 here on Talksport.
Yeah, ball forward there to Lewandowski, who just as he's in the process of just bringing it down, Laporte made sure that he didn't, but for him it was a foul just coming in the back of him, catching his foot. The game's good tempo to the game at the moment, and quite often when both teams need the victory, it does encourage both to get forward, and it doesn't look as though it's going to be too much of a cagey game tonight, Jim.
Just to reiterate, the final games, both coming your way on Wednesday. We've got them for you, of course, on Talksport and Talksport 2. Spain take on Slovakia. Poland go to Russia, where they meet Sweden in St. Petersburg. All to play for in this group. Spain in possession with Coque. Very quickly crowded out of it in the midfield area by the lively Mateusz Klich. Opportunity for the blonde-haired fullback Puhac to make his way forward. One of the least experienced players in this team, just 22. Player who's just signed for Union Berlin from Lech Poznan, and it's only his 4th cap tonight. Came on against Slovakia the other day, and gets the starting berth this evening. Zielinski linking up well with Lewandowski. Świderski out towards the right hand side of the midfield for Klich, who's tried his luck from distance, and it dips over the bar, but not by too much. And it had Unai Simon, the Spanish goalkeeper, backpedaling very quickly, and they only beat the bar by about a foot.
Yeah, it was a really good play by Lewandowski, a little give and go by him, and then he's played a ball which just cannoned off of Pedri, I think, and fell to Klich, and Klich's hit it, and the dip that he managed to get on the ball was superb.
Free kick to Spain inside their own penalty area after a little bit of an overzealous challenge from Lewandowski on Aymeric Laporte, who's down holding his left leg. Lewandowski protesting his innocence, having gone across just to make sure that the Manchester City defender is okay, but he's still writhing in pain. Just an awkward fall. I think he'd come down on his kneecap maybe. As Lewandowski was putting the pressure on, the intensity of the forward press from Poland very evident in the early stages. It is still 0-0. We've played 7 minutes. The only competitive meetings between these two nations in the past came in qualifying for the first ever European Championships back in 1960. In fact, Poland have only ever beaten Spain once in the 10 previous matches between them. That was a friendly back in 1980 in Barcelona. It was a very good Poland side around the turn of that decade, 70s into 80s. They got to the World Cup semi-final around then when Boniek was the man leading the line. But matches between the two have been a rarity. just feeling each other out a little bit in the early stages, but both exaggerating really the stakes of the game by playing with an intensity and with a decent tempo up to this point. 8 gone, it's goalless.
It's a really good press here by the Polish. You know, they're not letting the Spaniards play out and get comfortable possession up to the halfway line. They're pressing right on man-for-man scenarios and asking questions of the Spanish. Are you good enough to play through us? When they are good enough, it opens up and there's more space in the opposition's half.
Koke finds Marcus Llorente down towards Gerard Moreno. It's a clever ball back for Llorente's ball inside the penalty area. Wasn't particularly well dealt with by Bednarek, but Kamil Glik swept up for him and pulled it out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Spanish right. Taken quickly as well to Koke. Right-footed ball swung inside the penalty area. Glik will fancy his chances against that kind of service and heads it away. Poland win the seconds on the edge of the box, and then Lewandowski is able to bring it down inside the centre circle. Well, his touch can't find a teammate. Marcus Llorente will bring it away. A real slugging match in the early stages of this game. Gerard back for Rodri, and now to Pau Torres inside the centre circle. Played out to Jordi Alba. Pedri to Rodri. Koke in the central position, about 20 yards outside the penalty area. Works out towards Llorente and it comes straight back again. Spain with 3 wins in the last 5 games, but more significantly, I suppose, with only 3 defeats in the last 54. They lost to England and Croatia in the Nations League in 2018. They also lost to Ukraine in the Nations League in October, which is their only defeat in 25 coming into this. Spain have it again. Work towards Llorente in a central position, coming in from right back. Had actually been plenty of speculation in Spain this morning that he's going to play a more advanced role down the right-hand side of the forward 3. A little bit more attacking endeavour, and Azpilicueta would play in at right back, but Llorente's kept his place at full back. Involved at the start of this move, which sees Dani Olmo hitting a low skidder in towards the near post. Very comfortably dealt with by Wojciech Szczęsny, and it's still 0-0.
Really disappointing that the referee there, I think it was Jozwiak, who's gone down really cheaply, and he's attempting to buy a free kick with nowhere to go in the right back slot, and you know, he's just gone to the ground so cheaply, and really it should be a booking, but the referees, there's a sea change with referees for not booking for diving anymore for some reason. I don't know why.
Ball is out of play for a Polish throw. We've got 2 more games coming up for you tomorrow on the Talksport network. The conclusion of Group A. Joe Shannon and Dean Ashton, along with Adrian Durham, live from the Stadio Olimpico in Rome for the conclusion of Wales group stage. They take on Italy, hoping to be the first team to beat the Italians in 31, and in Switzerland-Turkey, the other game in that group, which kicks off at the same time, is live view on Talksport 2. Those are the 2 games we've got coming up for you tomorrow here on the Talksport network, where we've got all 51 matches covered for you over the course of the tournament. Koke's got the ball after another Spanish free kick. It's just played down towards Llorente on the right-hand side. Llorente, the Atletico Madrid player who scored a career-best 13 goals this season. Now played forward towards Gerard Moreno, who wanted it just pinged back over the top once he laid it off. That pass wasn't forthcoming. They still found him, but in a wider position down on the right-hand side. Took it down towards the corner flag and then came back out again. Back from him to Koke to Rodri. Rodri inside centre field finds Pau Torres. Now Jordi Alba will be able to bring it forward. The youngster Pedri in the midfield into the feet of Rodri. Chipped over the top here by Dani Olmo. This is excellent football from Spain. Gerard Moreno down by the corner flag, gets it onto his left foot and delivers, but Jan Bednarek of Southampton's there to head it away for Poland. It comes down towards Rodri. Rodri to Pau Torres. Pau Torres trying his luck from distance, and Szczęsny can very diffidently just watch that one go well wide of his left-hand post. Paulo Sousa looking very dapper tonight. His hair, that of managerial grey, I think you could call that. A man that has been in the business for a while, has probably greyed prematurely. Right, he looks well set for his game of snooker later. He's got a very tasteful waistcoat on. Ball over the top here from Poland. And Lewandowski's going to chase it. He has support in the middle. Zielinski is in there. Świderski there as well. Half cleared by the Spanish back line. Rodri can get it further away, and then Jordi Alba will just ease it down the left-hand touchline where Dani Olmo's control was neat. Well, one back by Berezinski, but all he could do was help it forward. And it goes through for Unai Simon in the Spanish goal. But an entertaining opening 13 minutes, despite the fact that Spain still wait for their first goal at either end in this tournament. It's 0-0.
Yeah, Sosa looking very Kirk Stevens-esque.
Now you are showing your age. If that's your point of reference for snooker players, you're showing your age.
I've just watched a documentary about snooker in the 80s, actually. That's why it's fresh on my mind.
Sosa grateful that it was that Canadian rather than Bill Werbenek that you cited. Spain had it. Work it back towards halfway. Now they play forward by Laporte. And Laporte to Llorente. Llorente down to the right-hand touchline for Gerard Moreno, who looks as though he's itching every time he's got the ball to come into this more central position. Spain haven't been able to get Morata any kind of service at all in the opening 13 and a half minutes. It's still 0-0. Waiting for the first attempt on target from either team. Poland have come close with a rising effort from Klich, which just cleared the bar. Pau Torres has it now.
What I am liking about the Spanish, though, is they're moving the ball from side to side very quickly, asking questions of the Polish backline, dragging the central defenders out wide with their movement, and I quite like that. They'll keep doing that, keep looking and probing. It's when you do it too slowly that the opposition, when they're banked up, is too comfortable for them.
Sliding in on the left-hand touchline, Puchac is able to work it down the Polish left-hand side. It was a real something or nothing ball that he was played there by Bednarek. And Spain had possession back. Another chance for Dani Olmo to try and take on the fullback Jóźwiak. Kamil Jóźwiak of Derby County standing his ground, and Poland will be able to bring it away. Not too far. Laporte just stepping up over the halfway line in with a firm block challenge. Now Gerard Moreno. Here is Morata, couldn't get there, knocked away from him by Bednarek. A little bit more space in the midfield this time for Poland to be able to bring it forward. Zielinski has asked an awful lot of Jóźwiak, who very gamely went up through the gears and sprinted after it down the right-hand side, but he knew from a long way out he wasn't going to win that battle. And Spain have been able to turn over possession, and then Jóźwiak having to sprint the first 20-30 yards to get back in position going the other way. Spain have it again with Gerard Moreno. Laid back for Llorente. Llorente to the halfway line for Laporte. Now to Pedri. Spain purposeful but not potent up to this point as Dani Olmo swings it in deep here. Moreno coming around the back. Did really well to stretch out a right foot and flick the ball into defender Puchac. And that's won Spain the first corner.
Yeah, really good ball there. Once again, good movement, switching the ball from side to side, and it was just cutting in on his right foot, just lofting one to the far post, and it was Moreno just coming in, stretching, no chance of scoring, but just trying to keep the ball alive, and just cannoned off a Polish defender for a corner.
Wins the corner out of nothing, the first of the game. Dani Olmo is the man that stands over it. Man who scored the winner in the under-21 European Championships last year. It's worked short, then delivered. Rodri can't get his head to it. Held back in by Pedri. And away by the Polish back line. It was Bednarek who managed just to arch his back and loop a header forward towards the halfway line. At the moment there's no outball for Poland. They can't get it with any quality in towards Lewandowski. Świderski and Zielinski, the two players playing in support of him, are often finding themselves some way adrift. So he's got a quite an isolated figure, Lewandowski. That means that Spain are able to have the majority of possession inside Polish territory. It's not just that they're having the ball, but they're having it in good areas. Moda trying to get it away, hasn't got it too far away, and Rodri mops up again. Rodri for Pedri. Teenager wife of Jordi Alba, ball in towards the near post. Morata on the turn, thinks it back in. Bednarek stretches, heads it away. Out of play for another corner to Spain. 0-0.
Bednarek in the right place there and just looped it away. Spain are asking good questions. What they haven't got right at the moment is just a final cutting pass in the last third. I like the movement of their players. They're rotating out of areas, ceding space for the next player to come into. But at the moment, they've just not found that last killing pass.
Spain were the corner short again. On the left-hand touchline this time, rather than the right where they took the first. Pedri back for Dani Olmo. Olmo had the angle open up for him. Just chipped in though by Llorente, headed in towards Gerard Moreno. Rodri had a right-footed effort that was blocked at source, and then as they try and play out, Robert Lewandowski can bring it away, and he's got nothing in the way of support, but he might not need it. He's gone 40 yards, 50 yards, and then he's brought down, is he, by Jordi Alba. The referee says no, and in fact finds against Lewandowski, who got back to his feet and then caught Jordi Alba himself. But that was Poland on the counter-attack, the edge of their own penalty area to the final third at the other end of the field within about 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, really unfortunate there. Great set-up play. Bednarek with a saving header from Moreno, and then when the counter-attack, Lewandowski's picked the ball up 10 yards outside his own box, drove with it, and Alba done really well. Just said, okay, I'm not going to dive in, and Lewandowski ran out of puff, steam and support.
The other games that have taken place today in the Euros in Group F, Hungary and France drawing 1 apiece. Hungarian scoring just before half-time, Anton Griezmann equalising in the second half, and Cristiano Ronaldo scored again for Portugal. After having taken the lead through that goal, they ended up losing 4-2, a couple of own goals in that match. Here's Dani Olmo. That group wide open, Group F. Here's Llorente. This game, the final one in Group E. The ball is chipped inside the penalty area, headed away again by the retreating defender Jozwiak, who puts it behind for another corner. And Parasol's men under significant pressure at the moment. Standing firm for now. And a corner that will be taken on the left-hand side. Will they work this one short as they have the previous two? Or will there be a more direct delivery inside the penalty area? Pau Torres is up there. Dani Olmo again, just working it short. Right-footed ball swung in very deep, and it's easy for Wojciech Szczęsny to come out and claim it. And it remains 0-0 with 20 on the clock.
Yeah, for Poland, it's all about getting in shape and making sure you concentrate. The Spanish keep moving the ball, keep moving position, keep asking questions, and a couple of gentle flighted balls have asked questions of them. If you lose concentration, you'll lose a goal.
Modder with a crossfield ball. Robert Lewandowski with a real high swinging cross. Very deep towards the far post. And easy to watch behind from the Spanish. Now the play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Unai Simon. Poland have only won 1 in the last 8 games. That came against Andorra. So hardly vintage form to be coming into the tournament, but they've given a decent account of themselves so far tonight. Having been beaten 2-1 by Slovakia in a match where they disappointed. Just to reiterate the maths of this group tonight, Poland were to lose, they're out, guaranteed to finish bottom of the group. Here's Llorente, the right-hand side of midfield. Back from him to Koke. Koke working it square to his left-hand side for Rodri. Now Pau Torres is able to bring it forward, and most of the principal options at his left-hand side. Glick has just gone down hurt inside the D on the edge of his own penalty areas. He tried to stop Morata turning, and then Poland have another player down injured inside the centre circle after a foul by Emerick Laporte. It's Fiderski that he's caught. Glick is okay, and Laporte just leaning over the top of Fiderski. Replay just showing that Morata caught Kamil Glick on the top of the right foot, and he's leant back and fallen over, just crumpled to the floor inside the D on the edge of his own penalty area, but he's all right, and Szwedecki is as well. Both been able to continue without the need for treatment, and it's a free kick which will be taken inside the Spanish half of the centre circle. Opportunity, get the ball forward from Jan Bednarek. Bednarek has just chipped it down towards the left-hand touchline. Mateusz Puchac knocking the ball through the midfield for Modder. Puchac continuing his run. Llorente able to gobble that up and knock it away. Now a chance to hit Spanish bodies forward quickly, although they didn't really attack on the counter with any real intent that time, and Moreno picking up the ball quickly worked it back through the midfield. And they switched it from right to left now with Dani Olmo playing it down for Pedri, one youngster to the other. Dani Olmo working it for Morata, making a darting run up the edge of the penalty area, wanted the ball into feet and then quickly worked it back out again. Spain trying to stretch the Polish back five, and it very much has been a back five so far rather than a three. Gerard Moreno swings this latest cross in and it hits Puhac and goes out of play for a throw on the Spanish right hand side, and we're just past the midway stage of the first half on Talksport at 0-0. Here's Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, since the early exchanges where Poland try to press Spain and press high, they're dealing off scraps really, and Spain have penned them into their own half. They're defending well in shape, but there's been questions asked, good movement. They're dragging Bednarak out wide from his left central defence slot. It's Moreno who's sort of pulling him out wide and trying to expose him in a wider area, but he's been dealing with it pretty well so far, Bednarak.
77% the possession for Spain in the first quarter of the game, but only a couple of shots. Here's Marcus Llorente. He's played it down the right-hand side again for Gerard Moreno. Back for Llorente. Poland already just getting forced that little bit deeper because 4 of the 5 in the Polish back line were right inside their penalty area there. Llorente playing it forward. It ricocheted off Bednarek. Puhac read it well and then turned and lost his footing. And Morata was quick to read the situation and get it back. Now finds Moreno. Moreno to Llorente. Rodri linking up the play. Pau Torres comes forward from centre half. Play by him to Pedri. Jordi Alba outside him on the left-hand touchline, but Pedri just used him as the decoy for the moment. Turned back inside, followed every step of the way by the bearded Leeds United midfielder Mateusz Klich for Poland. Here's Llorente again. Llorente down towards the right flank for Gerard Moreno. Moreno travelling with the ball onto his left foot, flicked in and driven in by Morata. But the flag, I think, is up. Ball playing in from the left-hand side of the box. It was an excellent delivery. Cross-come shot from Gerard Moreno. Morata anticipated it well, but seemingly from a position just that little bit too far forward, tapping it into the net. And the replay shows he is in an offside position. It's still 0-0.
Yeah, it was Moreno come inside on that left foot, and his shot was almost a scuff, if anything, never going to trouble the goalkeeper, but it ended up being a very, very good pass eventually. But just Morata straying offside.
Oh, he's given the goal!
Or has he?
No, he has. The goal stands. Alvaro Morata has given Spain the lead, and he's judged to have been onside when the ball was played.
Well, we've just looked at the replay and we thought that was very, very marginal. It'd be really interesting to watch that again. They've obviously got it right, but...
Well, I think it's parallax error and all that. The angle that we saw was not quite straight across the line, and it must be deceiving. I must admit, I thought he was offside, but as the ball is played in by Gerard Moreno on the edge of the penalty area, it certainly looks as though Morata's head is goal side of the last defender. But they'll have looked at it in neon. We know that they will have assessed it and brought the 3D lines out if necessary. He's judged to have been onside. And Alvaro Morata, much criticised in the Spanish shirt, has scored their first goal of the tournament. Big one for them. And a huge blow for Poland. Spain 1, Poland 0.
I think looking at it again, I think it was Berezinski's left foot. He's just dangled back, he's looking across the line and sideways on, and his left foot has just played him onside.
Alvaro Morata with the goal. It's his 20th for his country and his 4th in 6 games in the Euros all told. Now Poland have to react, because remember, if they lose, they are out. And Spain, buoyed by that goal, will be able to bring it forward. If it stays like this, Spain back in a very strong position in the group. They will be top with an identical record to Sweden if it stays this way, but they will be top with the Swedes second, and Poland would be out.
I think this will be a big problem for the Polish, because Spain have dominated possession after the first 5 minutes or so, and I don't see that changing. All I can see is the Polish shape getting a little bit looser, and that will cause even more problems for the movement that the Spanish have got.
Because so far in this game, all Poland have done going forward, that excellent effort from Klich that didn't clear the bar by much, that Dani Olmo probably still, Unai Simon probably still just about had covered. But apart from that, they've had nothing as an attacking entity. And now Spain will bring it forward again, but that's strong defending, I think it's fair to say, from Klich, who then got kicked by Gerard Moreno. He's won the free kick. There's a free kick which will be taken on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Kamil Glik with a face of thunder. He didn't like the challenge that had come in on him.
Just looking at Bednarek, just getting pulled out. He's spending a lot of time quite wide out on the touchline, and as you know, big central defenders in the main like to be tucked in and defend nice and tight, but Moreno's pulling him out wide, and on that occasion just slipped past him.
Ball's gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Spanish right-hand side. They lead, courtesy of that goal from Alvaro Morata, on 26 minutes here on Talksport. Puhac, left wing back, losing possession, and then Jakub Moder has given the free kick away, just stopping his run. The collision between two players inevitable, and the Spaniard went down. Moder just being spoken to by the Italian referee, but it will be a free kick that will be taken. And you've called it absolutely spot on. It is the left foot of Berezinski that has played Morata onside, as we've now seen the conclusive overhead picture of the run from Morata, and Spain lead by a goal to nil. Very fine margins, but that's all it takes.
Certainly is, and that is the beauty of VAR. I don't think we laud it enough when it gets it right, and that was one you and I in live action looked clearly offside. Defender going in one direction, forward in the other. But the power of VAR getting it right on this occasion, we've ended up with a goal.
Jóźwiak on the right-hand side for the Poles. They needed to try and find a response. They needed to try and find some possession. 15 minutes before half-time, and they've had very little of the ball.
I think almost, Jim, that one of the teams you don't want to go a goal down to is the Spanish, when you need a bit of possession to build attacks.
Poland will be able to bring it forward now, though, with Puhac. Puhac running towards the edge of the penalty area. 3 Spanish players in front of him, and he couldn't quite thread his way through. Moder and Klich combining well, then Puhac working it down the left-hand touchline. The offside flag's up against Zielinski, and Spain have a free kick way inside their own half. 1-0 they lead, courtesy of Alvaro Morata. The last match on Spanish soil between these two was 3-0 victory for Spain back in 2000. In fact, the last time they played each other anywhere, back in 2010, Spain won 6-0 in a friendly. I think it'll be the power of good for the Spanish players that they have managed to find this breakthrough, because so much was made of their lack of a cutting edge in the game against Sweden the other night. And the 4th time they failed to score in their last 54 games. Here's Koke towards the corner of the box. Llorente was just travelling back from an offside position, so Gerard Moreno had to hold it up before playing the pass. Now he gets the return. Right-footed ball chipped in towards the far post, headed away by Jóźwiak. Wasn't too sure where the ball had gone, but Mateusz Klich comes in behind him and heads it away off the island, and now to play for a throw. It'll be taken on the Spanish left-hand side. 32 gone. Spain 1, Poland 0 on Talksport. Don't forget Wales, final game of the group stage, away to Italy tomorrow. Adrian, Joe Shannon, Dean Ashton in the Stadio Olimpico for you tomorrow with a 5 o'clock kickoff here on Talksport. Build-up starts at 4. Morata plays the ball back through the midfield. Spain done well just to get it forward. A nice little step over involving Koke. Dani Olmo then brought down, and the free kick given away by Kamil Glik. is in a central position only a couple of yards outside the box.
I think the Polish at the moment are absolutely full stretch to deal with the Spanish movement and the individual one-on-one technique of the Spaniards. They're doing extremely well. Where they're clever is they just little slide rule passes behind the lines, and just the movement of the players is so good.
So Spain setting up this free kick, and as is often the way when it's in this kind of area, they've subtly moved the ball back a couple of yards just to give themselves a chance of getting it up and over the wall and back down again. Szczesny organising his wall in conjunction with Lewandowski. He's not happy, wants it to shift across to its right. They have got the draft excluder in it, Świderski, who's lying down beneath the four-man wall. Just a little bit of insurance in case they elect for the low free kick. It's going to be a left-footed strike from Gerard Moreno, and it's crept wide. Got it round the wall, but Szczesny got the wall in exactly the right position.
Yeah, it was. It was probably wide. Goalkeeper had it comfortably covered, but it's probably a foot and a half wide. Left footer. Moreno's just trying whipping it round the wall, but you've got to get those on target. You've got enough room there. He's almost tried to get round the charger, and the charger is the one basically level with a post, so you're never ever going to do that. You've got to come inside him.
Moreno, the man that scored the winning goal in the Europa League final. Excuse me, for Villarreal against Manchester United earlier this season. Well, 32 goals did he score for club and country. And he's had some moments tonight, but it's Morata that's got the goal. Poland with a chance to bring it forward. Berezinski has a good ball forward from the centre half. Lewandowski right hand side of the penalty area, trying to check it back in. Ricochets back off Jordi Alba, in again towards the near post area where it's Świderski attacking it. The angle was tight. All he could do really was make contact, and Lewandowski applauds his efforts, but almost impossible to get it on target there with the goalkeeper right on him, and it's ended up flying over the bar.
Really quality ball there across the face of the goal by Lewandowski. And Świderski, I think he's got to go with his head for that. I really do. He's jumped up and he's tried to cushion it in with a side foot, and the ball was up at about chest height, so he's really technically, for me, it would have been the braver thing to do, and probably the clearer thing to do was go with your head.
Spain leading by a goal to nil. Possession still for the Spanish in the high 60s. Poland still waiting for their first attempt on target of the night. Ball goes back to the Spanish left back Jordi Alba. As he plays it back towards Pedri, he's caught the teenager, and a yellow card is shown to Mateusz Klich. Klich, the first player to have his name taken tonight. There's nobody in the Polish side or the Spanish side, incidentally, who is one yellow card away from a suspension at the start of the night, but Klich is the first player to go in the book, and he was very late down on Pedri.
Yeah, he was late, but he's not caught him with his leg or anything. What he's done is just gone in body on body as such, you know, so... But if you go in like that, it's the reaction of the player that you arrive on, and that's caught in the booking. It's a cheap booking, really.
So Klich in the book. Poland without the Zbynek Krychowiak for tonight, player who undoubtedly would have started had he not had his 2 yellow cards against Slovakia. He started all 5 games in the last Euros and 3 in the World Cup. Spain on the front foot, down on the left-hand touchline, have possession with Alvaro Morata. Morata using his body well to protect the ball and try and stop Berezinski putting a challenge in, and eventually the bearded centre-half is forced to turn it away over the dead ball line. And out of play for Spain's 4th quarter. They lead 1-0 with 8 minutes to go to half-time.
Yeah, particularly good, the Spanish, with some of their slide rule passes. They get into sort of areas where you think there's nowhere to go, and they just wait for an overlapping run or a diagonal run and just slide a little 10-yard ball beyond the defence for the runner.
So plenty back to defend this for Poland, as you would imagine. They certainly can't afford to go 2-0 down. just trying to stay in the game at the moment and build themselves a platform from which they can try and attack to get themselves back into it in the second half and stay in the tournament. But there are 4 forward here after the latest short corner. High ball swept in, heads go up for João Moreno, trying to knot it down. Pau Torres, the closest of his teammates. Glick claiming, possibly with justification, that he was eased to the floor there, and has gone out of play for a Spain throw. No free kick. And the throw taken short to Rodri. Rodri back for Jordi Alba, just calms things down in central midfield and allows Poland to push forward, try and condense the play. Defend with a slightly higher line than they've been able to of late. Llorente getting the ball away from Świderski. Back for Pau Torres, centre half, linking up with the fullback Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba, who scored in the final back in 2012, the only goal that he's ever scored at a major tournament. Not a bad one. 19th game that he's played at either World Cup or European Championships tonight. Threaded through towards Morata. Morata's gone down and has conceded a free kick in doing so. He's tried to buy it from the referee as he went down holding the ball, and the referee has found against him for the handball. And it's a free kick to Poland.
Yeah, the Polish doing quite well getting back into shape, but still the Spanish are finding little spaces and little pockets of holes just to receive the ball and get in and behind the Polish back line. And listen, I think there's certainly at least one more goal in this game for the Spaniards, which is ominous for the Polish.
Yeah, Poland have scored in the last 7 games. That's since a defeat to Italy in the Nations League, but they have never scored more than once at a match in the Euros in their history. But they haven't scored more than once at a major tournament since they beat Costa Rica in the World Cup back in 2006. They have to score tonight. Really, they need 2. Spain on the front foot. If Poland were to draw tonight, it would mean that they would have to beat Sweden in St. Petersburg on Wednesday to stand any chance of making it through to the last 16. Might still finish 3rd in the group if they did so, but I think that 4 points will almost certainly be enough. 4 points with any goal difference will be enough to finish as one of the best 3rd place teams. It's not guaranteed yet, but seems very likely. Dani Olmo on the left hand side of the box works it in, and Bednarek's there to sweep up for Poland and get it away on the left foot, half volley, and the ball goes over the touchline on the full and out of play for a throw which Spain will take. They lead thanks to that Morata goal. Very marginal decision, originally flagged offside, but overruled the decision by the VAR, and rightly so. He timed his run to perfection. Puhac, the left wing back, takes it down on his chest, and it's given away by Mona in the midfield. Moreno couldn't make the most of it, and then Glick waiting for his goalkeeper to come out, and he nearly didn't get there in time because the bounce of the ball with so much topspin threatened to roll into the path of Morata. But Poland end up with the ball in the hands of the goalkeeper, and they've got 5 minutes to get themselves back on level terms before the break. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, ball given away there to Moreno, and he probably took the wrong choice. Tried to drag inside instead of going outside, and just got caught in possession, and even then the danger wasn't over. You just get the feeling, Jim, that man for man the Spaniards are that much better and that much quicker on and manipulating the ball, which is causing the Polish a problem at the back.
Jordi Alba surveying his options, in no hurry to restart play with this throw on the Spanish left. Works into the feet of Dani Olmo. Well won back though by Jóźwiak. Jóźwiak running down the line away from Zielinski. It has gone out of play for a throw that will be taken by Poland anyway. Just took a deflection. Good movement from Cliff. The Leeds man, not with such a good first touch though, couldn't work it back from whence it had come. Dani Olmo brings it forward now, wins a throw to Spain, which they will take midway inside their own half.
Really careless mistake there by Click. Once you get the opportunity to wrestle possession off of the Spaniards and get the ball in their half, what you can't do is give it away cheaply. A, your team are up the pitch and exposed a little bit, and secondly, it's the only chance of getting a feel of the ball for a while.
Puhac tried to drive forward from left wing back. It's been won back well by Jóźwiak. An opportunity for Świderski. Oh, he's hit the post. He comes back out for Lewandowski straight at the goalkeeper, and it ricochets wide. Well, you're going to put your mortgage on him following up. Świderski with a brilliant first effort, back off the frame of the goal, and then Lewandowski The one player you'd want it to fall to. He's only 8 yards out, left-hand side of the penalty area, and the goalkeeper's got back on his feet in time to be able to make the save.
Well, quite astounded really. The initial shot was fantastic, cannoned off the post, come back with real venom at Lewandowski. He took a decent touch, put the ball in the air, and then from no more than 6 yards away, he smashed the ball. Goalkeeper done brilliant, just stood up, spread his body and just took it either in the midriff or his left arm, I don't know which.
Poland have their first corner, but they will be very frustrated that they haven't got an equaliser. Koke's gone down inside the penalty area and he's minded the referee that he was punched. The play goes on, no VAR inspection. Corner comes in from Modder and it's easily headed away by Morata. And Poland, mopping up the seconds, go all the way back from Berezinski to their goalkeeper, Wojciech Szczesny. Long right-footed ball fall from him, too long as it turns out, and from one goalkeeper it's swiftly in the hands of the other. And Unai Simon, fresh from that very important save, bowls it out for Marcus Llorente.
Yeah, really easy for the goalkeeper to go down potentially and collapse waiting for the shot, but he just stood up and said, look, there's not much I can do, you hit this well into either corner and unbeaten. He just stood there and he just cannoned off him. Fantastic save. Lewandowski, I'm not sure he'll get a better opportunity in the game than that.
Lewandowski, a man who scored 550 goals for club and country in his career, 294 of those for Bayern Munich at a rate of almost, not quite but almost, one a game. Pau Torres lays it back, finding Rodri in the midfield. Rodri to Llorente. For all those goals that Lewandowski has scored, the 550, only 2 of them have come in major tournaments. As we mentioned earlier, they seldom are able to supply in the service, but he had a great chance there. Now it's worked in at the other end, and Gerrard, from a tight angle, has hit the side netting. Szczesny off his line quickly enough to work the angle, and Gerard Moreno has turned it wide off. A good play by Jordi Alba down the left.
Yeah, really good there by Jordi Alba. Just held his ground, then he dipped in behind. Good movement, and certainly great movement across the front post. Just opened his body up and just tried to just nick it over the goalkeeper and probably got too much on it, if anything.
So 1-0, and both sides will feel that they should have made the most of other chances. Click coming close early on. Świderski hitting the post, and then Lewandowski on the follow-up with forcing a really good save. We've been talking about expected goals quite a bit in this tournament, and I know that a lot of people aren't enamoured with it as a barometer of how the game has gone, but Poland's expected goals tally higher than that of Spain's as we go into 1 minute at the end of this first half. The bottom line though is it's 1-0 to the Spanish as the ball is played in, and Glick leans over his man, heads it down towards the dead ball line. Modder just lost the battle to keep it in and stop it going out of play for a corner. He tried to make sure that it was a throw, and the assistant referee has flagged for a corner. I think the Spanish thought it was a throw, but it is going to be a corner, and Koke is going to come across to take it. Dani Olmo as well. They tend to work these short. This is the 5th corner of the first half. The 1 minute of stoppage time will be up by the time it is taken, and bearing that in mind, Koke has just waved Dani Olmo away. So Koke takes it right-footed, plenty of air underneath it, swinging inside the box. Kamil Glick heads it away. As soon as the ball clears the penalty area, the half-time whistle blows. Spain have done their job so far. Alvaro Morata is a very close call for offside. The margins might be fine, but it has been a pretty fine attacking performance from Spain in many ways. Better than the other night, but Świderski so close to getting Poland back in the game right at the end of the half with a shot that beat the goalkeeper and hit the post. Keeper back on his feet in time to save the follow-up very well from Robert Lewandowski. Poland 45 minutes away from elimination. Spain lead it by a goal to nil. Yeah, 45 minutes to do it. Easier said than done in many ways, of course, particularly with the fact that Poland have seen very little of the ball. There will come a point where they have to gamble. They'll have to push bodies forward much more effectively than they have done, because when they have been able to get in and around the final third, Stuart, they've looked pretty effective. The problem is that those opportunities have been so sporadic and few and far between. It's just being able to get more of the ball in better areas that really will be occupying Paulo Sousa's mind at the moment.
Yeah, you're right. They've had probably two efforts that spring to mind that have been very, very decent chances. Lewandowski probably having the best chance of the game, to be honest with you. But they're feeding off scraps at the moment. They're being denied possession, and you just get the impression that they're struggling to deal with the Spanish movement up front, and it just takes one more moment of brilliance or one player just switching off. And I can't see Spain not scoring again in the second half.
Well, a reminder of the two teams for you. Unai Simon in goal for Spain. Marcus Llorente, Laporte, Pau Torres and Jordi Alba the back four. Koke, Rodri and Pedri in midfield. Gerard Moreno, Morata and Dani Olmo the forward three. Poland Szczęsny in goal. Berezinski, Glick and Bednarek the back three. Józwiak, Klich, Moder and Puchacz. And then Świderski and Zielinski in support of Robert Lewandowski up front. Mateusz Klich is the only man in the book. Morata the only man on the score sheet. And we're underway for the second half. Poland needing to win this second half to stay in the tournament. They have possession. White shirts, red shorts, kicking from left to right. As we look at these pictures on our studio monitors in London. Stuart Pearce alongside me, Jim Bradford, Mark Saggers in the chair. And the three of us will be back together with Sol Campbell, Jose Mourinho and our England correspondent Faye Carruthers for the final game in the England group against the Czech Republic on Tuesday. Final game for Scotland in the group stage against Croatia, which kicks off at the same time, 8 o'clock Tuesday, is on Talksport 2. Reminder, Wales back in action, their final game of the group, as we just heard from Gareth Bale looking ahead to the game with Joe Shannon, Dean Ashton and Adrian Dunn live from inside the Stadio Olimpico Rome, and that is a 5 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. Spain have an early free kick at the beginning of this second half. Morata is down live, face down on the floor with his right hand on top of his perfectly coiffured head. Just got a bang around the side of the head there from Kamil Glick, who leant into him as Morata headed the ball away. But Morata's okay, he's back on his feet. Spain have taken the free kick, they've worked it back for their goalkeeper Unai Simon, and made that excellent save from Lewandowski at the end of the first half. Poland need more of the same. Still an intensity about the press. The ball is worked back for Unai Simon, and it'll be chased now by Świderski. And as it's played forward down the Spanish right-hand side, Poland are able to pick up the seconds, and Klich has won a throw. 90 seconds into the second half, it's 1-0 to Spain on Talksport.
Just looking at Glick there, making yet another foul. He's got a wonderful expression on his face of shock every time the referee seems to blow his whistle, and surprise. And I'm not sure why, to be honest with you.
Yeah, one of those old-fashioned defenders who, if you read their facial expressions, will have you believe they've never given a free kick away in their lives. Here's Marcus Llorente, play forward. Koke tried to turn, and another free kick has been given. Kamil Glick actually played in the 6-0 defeat to Spain back in 2010, the last time the two sides met. And he played lower league football in Spain, on loan from Real Madrid's C team right at the start of his career. Vastly experienced, former Torino and Monaco player. His teammates are making their way forward now, but it was a poor layoff from Świderski, and easily mopped up at the back by the Spanish back line, able to work it back for goalkeeper Simon. Now Berezinski finding the aforementioned Glick.
It's interactions like that, Jim, when they did turn the ball over from Spain, that Świderski was just careless with his pass, really, and if you're careless like that, you've got no chance of building a sustained attack and an effort at goal.
Puchacz back to his goalkeeper. Szczęsny hits it upfield, gets to halfway. Laporte ducks his head in and nods it back. The last 7 games that Spain have played before tonight, they've had a different back four in every 7. It's not just that they've chopped and changed. There have been 7 different combinations in those 7 games at back four, but benefiting perhaps tonight from that little bit of continuity in the defensive areas. They've named the same defensive unit that played in the 0-0 draw against Sweden. Did opt to name only 24 in their squad, which was tactic that many people question when Sergio Busquets then failed his COVID test. Click has gone down, having come up from the defensive line to challenge Morata. Quickly raises a hand to say he's okay. No complaints at all. A firm challenge between those two. It was a good battle. And Morata just caught him with the point of the elbow. Free kick to Poland.
We've just seen a challenge there that both players are vying for the ball, and Morata's just lifted his elbow up and caught him. In a game yesterday, I see a penalty given for exactly the same incident, which was ludicrous, really.
Ball's clear from the goalkeeper for Poland. Headed back. Bereszynski finding Click. Bereszynski driving it down the Polish right-hand side, and again, they'll chase after it gamely. Świderski covering the hard yards, but Spain easily able to deal with it. Unai Simon just waited a moment, and Poland were very quickly closing down all of his options. Moda putting the pressure on Koke, who was just able to get it back. The Atletico Madrid player was then fouled by Moda, and the referee will give a free kick. He might have a word with the Brighton man here, because that was the latest of his challenges so far.
It looked very, very late, to be fair, and I'm surprised that's not drawn a booking on first viewing and on second viewing.
Yeah, he's come round the side of him and caught him with the studs of his right boot on the top of the foot of Koke. He's done well. He's had a good season, Jakub Moda. He's first in English football after making his way over from his native Poland in the second half of the season from Lech Poznan. Only a dozen or so appearances for the Seagulls, but I know he's impressed the management team down there. Tall, very upright style midfielder, very versatile player, and they're going to make those third man runs in behind the striker, as Brighton fans will testify. It's something he hasn't really been given the chance to do tonight. Szczesny comes out, takes a high ball that was hoisted forward towards Dani Olmo. It bounced inside the penalty area, and Szczesny able to claim. Ball, the palm of his hand of his big red glove. He just threw it towards the edge of the penalty area before driving it forward. Lewandowski flicking it on, hoping that he was going to be able to get Świderski in behind him. He couldn't quite. Marcus Llorente's there to mop up, finds his goalkeeper who comes outside his penalty area. Unai Simon, the Athletic Bilbao goalkeeper, knocks it away. Morata bringing it down in the midfield. Morata ending up on the deck. Referee plays on. Pedri's got it inside the centre circle. He finds Dani Olmo. Jordi Alba making a good run to his left-hand side, but trying to play the pass. He just gave Bereszynski the opportunity to knock it away. Spain will come again though with Pedri. Pedri leaving it for Dani Olmo. Back for Pedri again. Now Jordi Alba once more. Play down the left-hand side. Dani Olmo back for Jordi Alba. Quick exchange of passes. Pau Torres. Spain happy just to keep possession. Well, they can keep possession by a large 45 minutes, they're going to win. That will do them nicely. Poland now have it back. Won back by Zielinski. Lewandowski comes back to try and influence the play again, and then there's a foul by Koke on Moda, which might just have been born of a little retribution for that earlier one. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Poland in the midfield. It's still 1-0 to Spain. With 7 minutes gone on Talksport in the second half. Yeah,
the Spanish have joined the Polish here with being a little bit loose with their possession, you know, and the game turning it a little bit scrappy at the moment. Both teams giving the ball away a little bit too cheaply.
Ball's worked down the right-hand touchline by Click. Click laying it back in the midfield area. Very neat turn by Moda. He did well with the ball at his feet there. Now Click down towards the right-hand touchline. Jóźwiak swinging it in, and the header goes in for 1-1. Robert Lewandowski equalises. It's a massive goal for Poland. High right-footed ball swung in towards the far post, and that is exactly the type of service on which he has built his stellar career. Poland back in the game, still in the tournament. It's one apiece.
That was a towering header at the far post there. Not much pace on the ball. He had to generate the power himself. Rose really well. Got the impression the Spanish defender was attempting to buy a free kick. Yeah, and he just literally didn't challenge for the ball. It was Laporte, and Laporte never got off the ground, and he was hoping that the referee would bail him out, and sadly he didn't. It was a great header.
Climbing high, steering it past the despairing dive of Unai Simon, and Robert Lewandowski scores his 67th goal for Poland, one of the most important of the lot. And it's 1-1, 9 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, top quality finish by a top quality striker. Goalkeeper, absolutely no chance. Bit disappointed with Laporte there. Should have done a lot better. He let Lewandowski come in the back of him and not know where he was.
Now Spain trying to get onto the front foot again straight away. Good opportunity for Gerard Moreno to pull it back. Real pinball inside the 6-yard box, and Morata couldn't quite react to get to the ball before Berezinski, who off balance steers it away. Out of play for a Spanish throw. So 1-1 the scoreline. If it stays this way, it'll be Sweden 4, Slovakia 3, Spain 2 and Poland 1. Those will be the points tallies. Now Poland have made a change. And there's a little bit of history, because as Mateusz Klich comes off, Kasper Kuzwowski comes on to replace him and becomes the youngest ever player at the Euros. A record that Jude Bellingham has held for 6 days, but it's now Kuzwowski's. Just 17 years old, made his debut against Andorra back in March. He's only made 24 senior appearances in his club career, but a central midfielder who's very highly regarded. The VAR is just having a look at a challenge on Gerard Moreno inside the penalty area. Moreno got his cross in and then got caught late by Modder, who was stamped on the side of his ankle, and the referee is being called over to the referee's review area, and he may well give this. Spain very hopeful that they will have the chance to retake the lead from the penalty spot only within a couple of minutes of being pegged back. But the first thing the referee sees is a still. Once the ball has gone, Gerard just being caught by Modder on the top of the foot. Now he's seeing it in slow motion.
In the present climate, it's a penalty, that is.
Yeah, it is going to be given.
Yeah. It is. You know and I know that many years ago it was just a slightly late challenge after the ball had gone. Didn't really affect the run of the ball, but when you see the still, you know full well there's only one conclusion coming, and a real blow for Poland, who have just got back in the game, Jim.
Modder gets a yellow card, and Spain have the chance to retake the lead. Gerard Moreno has the ball in his hand, but the Polish players are standing round the penalty spot, still arguing with the referee. Clearly there's going to be no way that he will reverse his decision. Now Wojciech Szczesny makes his way back to the goal line, just being reminded, as all goalkeepers have been in the course of the tournament so far, that he must not encroach. So Moreno with a chance to give Spain a 2-1 lead. He's made his way back to the edge of the penalty area. Scored against Switzerland and Kosovo this season for Spain. Hits it left foot in, off the post, and the rebound is somehow smuggled wide by Morata, and it remains 1-1. And Spain cannot believe that they haven't retaken the lead. The penalty miss was bad. The rebound comes out to Morata. He has to score, and somehow he's shanked it wide of an all but unguarded goal from 10 yards out, and he's put it miles wide.
Well, the front line of Spain there contrived from the penalty spot firstly, and then the follow-up with Morata to miss, and I don't know, it seemed a cheap penalty. Technically it was. It seemed a cheap penalty. I don't know whether justice is done or not, Jim.
So still 1-1, and still Poland have this thin lifeline that they are holding and protecting, and now Pedri is fouled by Jóźwiak, and he's in the book, the third Polish player booked, and it's a free kick that Spain will take in the midfield. They've just got to keep their heads here, Poland. They've done the hard part, getting back into the game, keeping their hopes alive. Pedri going down on Jóźwiak's challenge. and winning the free kick, and Józwiak's book.
Yeah, I've got to say it was a free kick. Polish players not covering themselves in glory here. 4 of them surrounding the referee at close quarters. And Lewandowski just saying to his team now, just calm down a little bit. The last thing they want to do, having got back in the game, is to lose a player.
Spain won, Poland won, Spanish had missed a penalty and then all but an open goal from the follow-up. It was Gerrard that missed the spot kick and Morata that missed on that follow-up. And Spain will bring it forward again with Pedri. Spain are going to make a change very shortly, and it will be Ferran Torres who's going to be introduced. Morata left-hand side of the penalty area, using his strength to try and keep possession. Bereszynski's able to bring it away and get it forward up the right-hand side, only as far as Pau Torres. Worked back through the Spanish midfield by Rodri and then flicked round the corner, but not to good effect by Marcus Llorente. And it goes straight through for Wojciech Szczęsny. We played an hour and it's been entertaining, and it's one apiece.
It certainly is. I mean, it's entertaining, maybe not so much through quality of football, but probably by mistakes has made it that way, Jim.
Yeah, it hasn't been a defensive masterclass by any stretch of the imagination. But for the neutral, it's been an engrossing hour's worth of football. Still half an hour to go here on Talksport. Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce talking you through the action with Mark Saggers with us as well. Józwiak, the most recent of the Polish players booked. Quick exchange of passes with Świderski, who hit the post in the first half. And Józwiak's foul, and that will give Spain the opportunity to make the change. And Ferran Torres will come on. Be interesting to see who makes way for him. Whether it's going to be a straight swap for Gerard Moreno on the right-hand side, whether they'll take Morata off and move Moreno into the middle. Just waiting to find out exactly what that change will be. Spain possibly would be forgiven for thinking this isn't going to be their day.
Yeah, just looking at the rebound that come off the post from the penalty, not the easiest, I've got to say. It's the goalkeeper on the floor. Admittedly, I don't know if I'm being kind to the Spaniard there potentially, but bounced just in front of him.
Ball is headed down inside the penalty area for Poland and knocked away after Zielinski's touch. It's Dani Olmo actually that has gone off on the other side of the forward three, and Ferran Torres on to replace him. So 1-1 with 29 minutes to go. Spain will be able to bring it forward with Marcus Llorente. Play down the right-hand touchline and then work straight back for Llorente again. Llorente takes a touch, moves it ably into Poland's half. Ferran Torres has started on the left. Pedri, way forward for Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba now to Ferran Torres. An opportunity for him to come in and flick the ball inside the penalty area. Józwiak's blocked it, and he goes out of play for a throw. Ferran Torres, who scored 5 goals in his last 6 internationals, including a hat-trick against Germany in that 6-0 rout of Joachim Löw's side back in the autumn. Crossfield ball here, sent out to the Spanish right. Again in the full-backs forward. Llorente's ball inside the penalty area is headed away by Kamil Glik. And then there's a free kick given for Fabian Kozłowski. An opportunity just for Poland to gather their breath and try and slow things down at the back. 1-1 the scoreline with 62 minutes played.
Yeah, it's almost anybody's game. It really is, from the control that Spain had in the first half seems to have diminished a little bit, and it's even Stevens at the moment, going from end to end.
Morata on 26, Lewandowski on 54, and then Gerrard missing a penalty on 58. One apiece in Seville. The 3-time winners being held at the moment by Poland, whose best out of European Championships was a run to the quarters some 5 years ago, last time out. That last Euros they beat Northern Ireland and Ukraine, and then only lost on penalties to Portugal after extra time in the quarterfinals. Ball played in from the left-hand touchline by Jordi Alba. It's gone out of play for a throw, which he himself has taken quickly. Back for Pedri. Pedri to Jordi Alba and then swiftly back again. Barcelona man is midway between the halfway line and the edge of the penalty area as he plays it back for Pau Torres. Right-footed ball chipped by Rodri out to the right flank. Gerard Moreno showing for the run of Marcus Llorente. Gerard and losing possession, and an opportunity for young Kozłowski to try and bring it away. He was fouled and unceremoniously way back to his feet. Spain working inside the penalty area. Cross-come shot from Alvaro Morata. He didn't really have any options in there. Szczesny got a hand to it. I don't think he was going in anyway, but he wasn't taking any chances, and it's just gone across the face of the 6-yard box and gone out of play for a throw.
Yeah, good effort. Good effort there. Let it run across his body really well. Not sure whether it was going in, but it just bounced in front of Szczesny, and he's just got his hand on it and helped it on its way.
It's in fact a corner which will be taken on the Spanish left-hand side. It's Koke that's going to take it. Five forward in towards the near post area, but it was a Polish head that got it away, that of Berezinski. Spain working back to Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba, the last man, back defensively. Pedri, then for Koke, and now Morata will try and take it on, but can't beat Jóźwiak. Koke then wins it back, and Jóźwiak has caught him. The referee has given a free kick, though, for the first challenge, which was that from Koke on Jóźwiak. And it's a free kick to Poland, level with the edge of their own penalty area. 1-1 on Talksport with 25 minutes to go on a night that Poland need a positive result to stay in the tournament.
They certainly do. I mean, this game is so in the balance now. It's going from end to end. Nothing would surprise me. A mistake that leads to a goal, a potential sending off might be on the cards. Some of the challenges that are going in that are very loose at the moment.
Well, Poland lost Krychowiak to a second yellow card just past the hour mark in their first game against Slovakia, and they need to make sure that their discipline isn't a big factor again tonight. Jóźwiak able to try and bring it forward. Lewandowski was waiting. Jordi Alba cut out a poor pass and then stopped it after his first touch went towards the dead ball line. Stopped it going out of play for a corner. And it is instead a throw, which is going to be taken in an advanced position by Kamil Jóźwiak, who made 40-odd appearances for Derby this season. Has got a couple of international goals over the course of the campaign. Ball swung in from Zielinski. He's looking for Świderski. Headed away, then back over the top, flicked on by Lewandowski, but the offside flag is up. And it's a free kick to Spain on the edge of their own penalty area. We just shy of the midway stage of the second half on Talksport, and Spain are going to make a double change. Fabian Ruiz and Sarabia are the players coming on. And Sarabia a winger, and Fabian Ruiz a central midfielder. Poland are going to make changes as well. And in fact, I think they might make the first change. Frankowski is the player that's going to come on to replace Świderski. So Świderski off, hit the post in the first half, and is replaced by Przemysław Frankowski, who's playing his club football in the States now for Chicago Fire. His third season out there, central midfielder. And that suggests that they might just stick another body back behind the ball and try and protect what they've got. Gerard Moreno's off and Fabian Ruiz is on. He just gets a welcome to the game from Zielinski. And the other player coming on is Sarabia. So a double change from Spain, one from Poland, and we've got a quarter of the game remaining. It's 1-1.
Yeah, it's I don't know whether it's the occasion and the pressure of the occasion, but both teams very loose with their passing. Just seen another loose pass from the Spaniards, which is very unlike them, but as I say, both teams looking very nervous, both teams making errors, giving the ball back to the opposition.
Here's Fabian Ruiz driving forward out to the right hand side of the penalty area. It's played in and it takes a touch on its way through, and out of play for a corner after Marcus Llorente got forward, fired it in, it hit Puhac, and goes out of play for Spain's second corner of this second half. Just confirmation of that double Spanish change. Koke and Moreno, the players that have gone off. In comes the corner, completely missed by Szczesny. He's claiming that he was fouled in the process, and the referee agrees. It's a free kick that Poland will take. Jan Bednarek is down hurt as well. Free kick to Poland inside their own penalty area, just over 20 minutes to go. Well, if he's given the free kick for a foul on Szczesny, And the foul was committed by Kamil Glick, the centre-half, because there's no contact on the goalkeeper from anybody in red at all. It's just a collision between goalkeeper and centre-half.
Amazing, really. I'm not sure who he's given it to. Maybe there was a handball by Laporte who was coming in behind, but certainly no foul, like you said, on the goalkeeper.
Heavy fall for Bednarek, and he's down her. Paulo Sousa, just considering what his options are from here. If they have to make a change to replace Bednarek, then that will be the last juncture at which they can make a substitution. Might be able to, well, they can make a triple if they want, bring another 3 players on, but they can only do it now. It looks as though he's going to be okay though. Bednarek back on his feet and just being helped behind the dead ball line, but he'll be coming back on the moment from the touchline. 20 minutes to go. Spain 1, Poland 1.
How do you see, if this game pans out a draw, who does that help the most here, do you think, Jim?
Well, the table will be Sweden 4, Slovakia 3, Spain 2 and Poland 1. And Spain's last game is against Slovakia, so they know that if they win that, they definitely qualify. They'll finish in the top 2. It wouldn't guarantee them a place on top of the group, but they would go through. Poland just need a positive result. They will be the one, I'm sure, that are just sitting back to try and protect what they've got, because they will know that if they can beat Sweden in St. Petersburg on Wednesday, they'll finish with 4 points, and we believe 4 points will be enough to go through, at the very least, as one of the best third-place teams. So I think it'll be Poland who will be more than happy just to sit back and try and contain here. 19 to go.
But in the scheme of things, looking at both of these teams, in the scheme of things, with pretensions of going on to win the trophy, I'm not seeing it on tonight's performances, I've got to say.
Has been really easy, all of the front runners, to pick holes in it, with the exception of Italy, has to be said, on the strength of what we've seen so far. Everyone else, I think you can say, well, there's a question about him here or there, and Spain fall under that category. In comes his latest free kick. Szczesny able to punch that one clear. Spain claiming that there was a little bit of an infringement on one of their players attacking the ball, but the officials are unmoved. Unai Simon, the goalkeeper, mopping up at the back for Spain, way outside his penalty area. And he just taps it forward for Aymeric Laporte. And Laporte goes square to his left-hand side for Pau Torres, worked over the halfway line. Ball bypassing Jordi Alba and finds Pedri. Jordi Alba gets it now, works it back into the centre circle for Pau Torres. An intelligent 20-yard ball forward from him, and towards Marcus Llorente. Fabian Ruiz trying to play it back to him, but couldn't do so. Poland looked long, and it's flicked on over the top of Frankowski's going to chase, but Pau Torres is able to mop up easily enough and get it away. Now played long again by Jordi Alba. Almost a peach of a ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area, but Sarabia couldn't bring it into his stride. The backtracking Morata has done really well to dispossess Modder. Now to come to the right-hand side of the area where Llorente chips it in, and the header some way off target from Ferran Torres. Half chance for Spain. It's still 1-1.
Yeah, good chance there. As I say, just craned his neck to try and get his head round behind it, and he just couldn't get enough power on it, to be honest with you, and direction.
Quality of the defending employed by Wojciech Szczesny, the goalkeeper. Szczesny, who was second choice for Euro 2016 behind Lukasz Fabianski, but the two the other way round this time round. Fabianski on the bench. Now he's played more than 100 games for West Ham and 150 for Swansea. Szczesny, for his part, more than 130 in the Premier League and more than 150 in Serie A now. Nice turn in the midfield by Poland's right back Jóźwiak. Jóźwiak, part of the Derby side that stayed up thrillingly on the last day of the championship season. Jóźwiak making good ground down the right flank. Wasn't given too much to work with the quality of the ball that was played in his direction. It's come off the top of his head and gone out. And it's a throw that Jordi Alba's going to take. 1-1 with 73 on the clock. I think what you can say, this is a great result for Sweden if it finishes this way.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Morata. Plays it through the midfield for Llorente. Llorente sliding forward, Lewandowski trying to win the seconds, and it's Fabian Ruiz that can come away with possession. A recently arrived substitute, finding Pau Torres. Pau Torres playing it to his left for Pedri. Pedri one stop further down the line for Jordi Alba, and then back for Pedri again with a little bit of whitewash just above the 6 on the back of his shirt, on the right shoulder where he's gone down on the touchline. Spain maintaining possession. Haven't had quite as much of it in the second half. It's been a pretty close run thing. It's still just about 70% of the ball. Jordi Alba forward now, and the ball hits the referee, and that'll be a drop ball which will be given to Spain. Nothing the referee could do to get out of the way of that. It was whacked at him from close range by Morata, whose lack of control let him down. It's actually worked very well for him. Referee Osako just telling the Polish players that they have to retreat. An obligatory uncontested drop ball, drop to the feet of Pedri. Pedri back for Ferran Torres. Jordi Alba playing it forward. Takes the touch off Zielinski in the midfield for Poland, and now they'll work it forward. Frankowski's going to chase it and puts Pau Torres under enough pressure that he clears his lines, and Poland will be able to get way upfield, midway inside the Spanish half. And it's 1-1 with 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, good defending there by Pau Torres, but once he swept up in the channel, you would have expected him to roll it back into his goalkeeper and keep possession. He's gone for the safe bet and knocked it out of play, and that might just be an illustration of how nobody wants to make a mistake. And with that mentality, there's every chance someone will make a mistake.
Well, you get the impression that a few of the Spaniards not really feeling that they're able to play their natural game at the moment. 2 draws at the start of this tournament, certainly not what was expected, and it might not be what comes to fruition. Jordi Alba working it down the touchline again into the figure of Ferran Torres. The Manchester City man's presence was enough to force Poland to clear their line straight over the touchline and out of play for a throw. Just taken by Pedri, back for Pau Torres, and then play forward by Pedri in towards Ferran Torres, but Poland have got it back, not for long. Oh, it's a good turn in the midfield by Lewandowski. He's got Frankowski ahead of him, but Lewandowski will continue his run, and now Frankowski is in, right-hand side of the area. The angle's tight, he looked for Lewandowski, who's making his way forward. There were 4 Spanish defenders back, and in the end, all they get out of it is a corner.
No, I think it's a goal kick. It's cannoned back off him, actually, Frankowski, and gone out for a goal kick, but Lewandowski done really well there. He's played a through pass, split the back line. Frankowski, I don't think was aware of how good the ball was going to be, and then when he received it, the only thing he had on his mind was getting it back to Lewandowski instead of potentially driving towards goal and getting a shot away himself.
When Frankowski came on in that game against Slovakia, he played in the position that Krychowiak had vacated, the heart of the midfield, but he's playing much further forward now. He's almost playing as a supplementary second striker off the shoulder of Lewandowski. Here's Pau Torres. Now Torres on the left-hand side of the centre circle for Spain. They've got 13 minutes to win it. 1-1 as Jordi Alba just works it into the feet of Pedri. Pedri with a little back heel flick, knocked away unceremoniously by Kamil Glik. Pau Torres. Back to his goalkeeper, Simon, way outside the penalty area. Forward again for Fabian Ruiz. Fabian Ruiz sliding down the inside right channel. Bednarek defending strongly, just denying the space for the runner of Sarabia. He's gone to ground and looks at the referee with the international gesture, hands outstretched as the why didn't you give me anything? The contact from the palm of Bednarek's hand on his back certainly didn't warrant him going to ground in the way that he did. And it's 1-1, the ball in the hands of goalkeeper Unai Simon with 12 minutes for either side to win it. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, you'd get the impression if fatigue slips in now, it'll be a case of which team concentrates the most, which team is alert to an opportunity they might get. For sure, I think one, if not both teams, might get the opportunity to score. Which one's going to take it? Once again, really poor pass from Spain. You know, they just can't find that killer pass in the third at this moment in time.
Fabian Ruiz plays it in, and just for a moment it looks like it's going to break away from Szczesny, who, lying on the edge of the 6-yard box, ends up with a big beaming grin on his face and the ball in his hands. And for a split second there, it didn't look as though that was going to be the case. Berezinski tried to shepherd it back to his goalkeeper. They got in each other's way. It hit Berezinski on the foot. Ferran Torres was bearing down on him. And in the end, as it's bobbled off about 2-3 players, and maybe just hit the foot of Ferran Torres as well, Szczesny's been able to reach out, lying behind him, reach out with his hands behind the back of his head and bring the ball under control.
Well, once again, that come from a poor pass from Spain once again. But it was Poland who were architects of their own problems.
Torres working it inside the area here. Morata on the turn, can't quite get a shot in either with a back heel flick or a more conventional strike towards goal, and Poland hammer it away. But every time Spain break forward now, it looks as though they're going to score.
Well, it certainly does, and that's more to do with not a really clean-cut pass, but more the composure of the Polish backline.
Now left footed shot from distance, and Szczesny is able to catch it. It's really well struck from Roderick. Szczesny just made a collapsing save and caught it very cleanly.
Made that look nice and easy there. The ball was just only sort of kept alive, and Rodri drove it with everything he had, and it just went straight down the throat of Szczesny.
Now Pau Torres gets a yellow card, the first shown to a Spaniard in the tournament, for a foul on Lewandowski, who is down holding his hand. I said a moment ago actually that every time Spain push forward they look as though they're going to score. That's not true. Every time they push forward, it looks as though Poland are going to give them an opportunity to score that Spain won't be able to take.
Yeah, and I think if they're a little bit more clinical with their passing, the Spanish had have scored by now, but they're just not as clean as you expect them to be.
Since Luis Enrique came back after the tragedy in his family, he's only been beaten once, but they have won less than half of the games that he's had in charge, which, as a win ratio for a Spanish manager, you just wouldn't expect to be the case. And if this stays 1-1, they've only won 6 out of 15 over the course of this season.
Yeah, which, you know, for a decent Spanish side, that is not so good. I get the impression with players at the time, they're so intent on trying to buy a free kick either in their defensive third or the opposition's that they don't concentrate on dealing with the ball at the time. On that occasion it was Morata received the ball to feet looking for a foul instead of dealing with the ball.
Poland take this free kick, hung up high towards the far post where Lewandowski works it back into the fray. Frankowski's trying to make life difficult for Ferran Torres, but Spain can ably play their way out from the back, and Rodri is pulled to the ground. One of the Polish players had a handful of his shirt. It was Zielinski, and the free kick is given away and then taken quickly by the Spanish, and it's an opportunity for Fabian Ruiz just to quickly move up through the gears and into Polish territory. Llorente just dropping the ball off at the feet of Rodri, gets it straight back again. Now Emerick Laporte square to his left hand side for Pedri for Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba's left footed ball inside the penalty area, 2 Polish players attacking to get it away, and Glick managed it. Right footed ball back in, Glick's there on the end of that as well, and Kamil Glick humps it upfield. Pau Torres inside the centre circle, down for Pedri to his left-hand side for Jordi Alba. Movement off the ball came from Ferran Torres. And for Morata, it's Szczesny down, and Morata trying to bundle it over the line. Szczesny denies him. Ferran Torres lobs it back over the top and over the top of the bar. And then it looks like a battle scene inside that penalty area with players from both sides down needing treatment. Morata holding the back of his thigh. Szczesny is down holding his face and looks a little bit winded. And the Polish player is down hurt as well. But it remains 1-1 with 7 to go.
Really good goalkeeping there. Szczesny threw himself face first into the challenge. Morata literally a couple of yards out, if that, from goal, and the goalkeeper's done brilliantly well, and Glick, I think it was, that covered behind him. Really good play.
That's a stunning save, really. So brave and so quick, so alert to the potential problem. And Morata just trying to dink it over him, and Szczesny just made sure he got something in the way. Now, Jan Bednarek had a problem a few minutes ago, and he's coming off that, and he looks distraught. The way that he's getting hugged from his teammates suggests that this could be something pretty serious. He is coming off, and Pavel Davidovic is going to come on to replace him. Player only made his full debut for Poland earlier this month against Iceland, having been recalled in March for his first international appearance for more than 5 years. And Davidovic comes on for the 6 minutes that remain, and he's a right-footed centre-half, so might just have to shuffle things around with Bednarek, who's been playing on the left of the three, the man that has gone off. I don't know whether they will move Berezinski over to his side. Modder has also been replaced here. This is the last opportunity for Poland to make any changes, and he's replaced by Karol Linetster, the Torino midfielder who scored against Slovakia on Monday but was left out of the starting lineup tonight. So Poland making their final changes, and it looks as though they might have switched actually potentially to a 4, maybe not. Might just be that Berezinski was just in a slightly wider position in that phase of play. So he'll play on the right, and Glick has moved over to the left, and Davidovic is going to be in the middle of the three. Opportunity to bring it forward. Glick coming to meet it, and he's actually shuffled back into the centre now, and Davidovic is playing on the left of the centre halves. Lewandowski trying to turn away. Spain poised to make their last change as well. It's Mikel who's going to be coming on, and then Pau Torres has caught Lewandowski. The ball was fired into the pair of them, and Pau Torres deemed to be leaning in dangerously with the boots and the knee raised quite high. Lewandowski went down holding his face. So it's a free kick and a opportunity for Poland to get the ball forward again once Spain have made this change. It's Mikel that replaces Morata. Mikel Oyarzabal, the Real Sociedad striker, scored 15 goals for club and country this season, although nearly half of those were penalties. And he comes on for the 4 minutes that are left. 1-1 to score. Spain looking desperately to try and find a winner. Poland looking for a little bit of Seville smash and grab. Lewandowski, high left-footed ball inside the penalty area. Knocked away by Jordi Alba. Breaks on the edge of the box for Jurkovic. Just tried to ease it back in with his instep, but easily saved by Unai Simon. 87 gone, it's 1-1.
Yeah, the Polish team really looking to protect this point that they've got here. Lost the ball on the edge of the box, had players in advanced area, and all of them to a man just turned round and sprinted back to get a shape.
Linetster, who's on the left-hand side of midfield, is putting the pressure on. Spain able to maintain the possession and maintain it in Poland's half, but it is back with their defensive contingent. Play for by Laporte. Out to the Spanish right-hand side for Llorente, and a lot of their attacking play has come down that side. And Fabian Ruiz tries to take it on. Linetster is making life difficult for him again, and it's turned away by Davidovic, out of play for a throw which will be taken over on the Polish right. What did you make of Alvaro Morata's performance tonight? Mikel, the player that's come on?
I think he was pretty good. Not bad. I'd like to have seen him a little bit cleaner with his possession work and his hold-up play, and I just think they're lacking something up front, Jim, the Spaniards, you know what I mean? They're okay, and they've caused Poland the odd problem, but I don't know whether how much of that is by Poland's own making, if you like.
Well, this senior Spanish side didn't find a way through against Sweden. didn't find a way through in their final warm-up game against Portugal. Both of those ended 0-0. 1-1 tonight, so that's 1 goal for this team in the last 3 games. They did play another international friendly in between times, but that was the under-21s that represented them, because the first team squad were isolating after Sergio Busquets' positive test. They beat Lithuania 4-0 in that, but say those goals scored by the under-21s. And they've got a shortage, actually, despite that scoreline. They don't have a prolific striker either. The ball's out for a throw, which will be taken on the Polish right. 1-1 the scoreline. Poland need a positive result to stay in the tournament. Defeat, if they concede a late goal here, they're out. North Macedonia, the only side that are out so far, is Puhac. Coming in off the left flank, the left wing back. A little bit more attacking endeavour being shown by Poland, but they've given a free kick away here, and they'll very quickly drop back into shape after the indiscretion that saw Fabian Ruiz on the ground. He was put there by Linetsta. Spain bring it away. Rodri, 40 seconds to go. Could be a fair bit of stoppage time to be added on. Easily be 4 minutes. Could be as much as 6. Goes out to the right flank for Marcus Llorente. Knocked away though easily by the Poles through the midfield. Kozłowski. And Kozłowski drives forward, the 17-year-old making good ground, but Pedri playing against the only player he's faced in his international career so far who's younger than him, and is able to come back and block that run. One back in the midfield by Frankowski. He's sitting that little bit deeper again now. And now bombs forward, hoping that Puhac can supply a long ball upfield. We've gone into stoppage time and there are 5 minutes to be added. 1-1. Spain going to have 2 points from the first 2 games, which would certainly be regarded as a tally that's way under par. Poland hoping to take this throw. Lewandowski has just gone down. He's just kneeling down for a moment, right in front of Emerick Laporte. Lewandowski gets back to his feet and just has a word with the Manchester City defender. Lewandowski trying to back into him here to win possession from the throw, but Laporte's still able to head it away. Held back forward again, but then returned through the midfield by Rodri. Brought back down by the Spanish and played out to the left-hand side. A chance to bring it forward for Jordi Alba. And the challenge comes in on him from Jóźwiak. Jóźwiak going shoulder to shoulder and giving away a free kick which Spain will take inside their own half. 1-1 with 4 minutes of stoppage time to go.
Yeah, by hook or by crook, the Polish team was saying you're not coming past us.
Another chance to play it inside the penalty area. It's smacked into the backside of Puhac and goes out for a throw, which will be taken on the Spanish right. And Poland are nearly there. Having been 1-0 down at half-time in this game, if they can get it through to full-time with a point, that would go down as a significant achievement against a side ranked 6th in the world. Poland themselves outside the top 20 these days. And it's the Poles that have a throw midway inside their own half. In fact, they're actually stealing a couple of yards and throw it forward over the halfway line. Lewandowski again backing with Laporte, and a few angry words between the pair of them, who are squaring up to each other now, playing some 30 yards away from there. Lewandowski has been angered by Laporte. Here's Pau Torres. Left-footed curling ball from him out to the Spanish right-hand side. Llorente, work from Rodri, forward towards the edge of the area, but not effectively. Poland just hoof it upfield. Anywhere will do. Get the ball out of harm's way, and they're already midway through the 5 additional minutes, and still it's 1-1.
Yeah, Spain coming forward again. That Lewandowski Laporte interchange stemmed, I think, from a couple of challenges in the first half. One on one, one on the other.
Fabian Ruiz. Kozłowski unable to come away with the ball. Laporte, Lewandowski's caught him off the ball there and gets a yellow card. Well, he can't protest his innocence because a yellow card for one of the two has been in the post for a long time. And just saw an opportunity maybe to take ball and man, and in the end he did half of that. Ball down, back up on his feet quickly. Yellow card for Lewandowski. Spain take a free kick, work it out for Jordi Alba. His ball played across the edge of the penalty area is hammered away into the Seville night sky, bounces down towards the cameraman at the side of the pitch. Throw taken quickly by Pedri, 90 seconds to go. Pedri clipping it back for Enric Laporte. It's going to be late and dramatic if Spain can win it from here. Goes full for Fabian Ruiz. Right-footed ball swung inside the box. Acrobatic attempted volley completely missed by Ferran Torres. Ball just ended up going square out to the side of the penalty area again. Spain with another opportunity to build. Llorente. Kozłowski doing well to come away with the ball. And Rodri's fouled him, and he too gets a yellow card. But a free kick to Poland, and with it they might be able to see it out.
Yeah, it's turned into a really scrappy affair now. Foul after foul. Loose pass after loose pass, and I don't think either team have got the quality or the energy to win the game at present.
40-odd seconds to go. 1-1 the scoreline. Poland preparing to take this free kick and get it forward. It's going to be Szczesny who'll put his foot through it. Poland hardly committing a whole host of players forward. Lewandowski has flicked that on and put it out of play for a throw which will be taken level at the edge of the Spanish penalty area, and then he immediately points to an imaginary watch around his left wrist indicating that time must be up. Spain played across the edge of their own 6-yard box, but safely as it transpired. Laporte can knock it forward now for Llorente. 5 minutes are up, and Poland is still in there, still fighting. They've got a point. Robert Lewandowski's equaliser 9 minutes into the second half. A big goal as far as Poland are concerned. He keeps them in the tournament. Their fate still in their own hands. For Spain and Luis Enrique, another night of frustration. Held on home turf by Sweden, now held on home turf by Poland. But although their fate also is in their hands, 2 points from 2 games is not what they anticipated. Polish players go into a huddle of delight. This one finishes Spain 1, Poland 1.